You guys have caught me, and now I'm going to come clean. Okay, I've seen it popping up quite a bit down in the comment section. I've seen people pointing it out. I've tried my best to avoid mentioning it, but yeah, I have to admit, I have been doing everything in my power to avoid terraforming around my base. I've been trying to do everything, you know. Oh, I need a storage system. Oh, I want to build a wither farm. Let's do some stuff in the industrial district. Let's do anything other than just place dirt around my base, but it needs to be done because currently large amounts of my base are floating up in the sky, and yeah, it's not a good look, and I know it's going to look a million times better once everything is in place, but I don't know, I just can't do it. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it, but today is the day. I'm going to get to business on it. Alright? Okay? Is that a deal? Alright, let's do it. Now the big question is, do I have any dirt? Yes, but that is not really that much. Am I going to actually have to go out farming for dirt? Is that really something that I'm about to have to do? No, because I keep forgetting, I'm super rich. I'm super rich. I can just buy things. I'm going to go out and buy dirt. Is there even any point in being rich? I mean, is there even any point? If I can't buy dirt, is there any point in me being rich? Not gonna lie though, despite that being slightly disappointing, this is incredibly satisfying. I always forget how fun it is collecting large quantities of dirt. But I do always feel a little bit bad afterwards, leaving this scar upon the landscape. Not Scar the good kind, as in the guy that's on the Hermitcraft that leaves beautiful. It's funny actually, Scar leaves nice landscapes, but scars on the landscape are bad. I'm confusing myself. I've got 3 shulker boxes of dirt, a little bit extra. That should be enough to at least get started on this. So let's get to work. I'm just going to do it in the form of a third-person time-lapse. And as soon as I started doing this, and I started making some progress, maybe 15 to 20 minutes in, I started to ask myself, why on earth did I put this off? You know, I have been putting this off since, well, it has to be since like episode 8. Seriously, it's been most of the season I have had to do this terraforming project, but I've just been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And now that it's actually done, you know, it took a couple hours, but it looks a lot better, for starters. It was perfectly fine, it was perfectly satisfying to do, and it's just one of those things that, yeah, it's been on my to-do list and it just keeps getting pushed back, and I am very much that as a person. You know, there are things on my to-do list that have been there for years, that if I did them, they'd probably take 5 minutes. You know, but they're like annoying things. They're things that I need to do, but when I get the time to do them, I can't be bothered to do them, and then I just keep pushing them off and putting them off and putting them off, and then they never get done, and they stay there for years, but in reality, they're not really that big a task. I really need to try and learn from this. Whenever a job like that comes up, which I need to do, I'll just think of terraforming, and be like, you know what? It's not actually that bad. With that being said, we are only halfway done, so I've done all of the terraforming on the outside of the build, but I haven't done all of the terraforming on the inside, and ironically, after that little chat, that little prep talk to myself, I'm going to be putting that off for the time being. It is going to get done in today's Hermitcraft episode, but for the sake of enjoyment and not doing all the terraforming at once, we're going to push that back a tiny bit, because I need to do something that I've actually been putting off. Again, this is another thing that I've been putting off. You see, a lot of people have mentioned down in the comment section that some of them have the bar across, some of them don't. And I was kind of deliberating whether or not I preferred the bar or if I didn't, and I've concluded the bar is best. Let's face it, the bar looks way better, it looks way more complete, so I'm going to get all of those constructed. I'm feeling really good about this, by the way. I'm feeling like I'm getting stuff done. This is like a new me. And you know what? I'm actually going to time how long it takes for me to do all of this, because I'm just curious. I've put this off for a long time. How long will it actually take for me to build these things? That's even more embarrassing than I was expecting. The answer is 4 minutes. It took 4 minutes. 5 months I've put that. 5 months. I've put that off, that 4-minute job. It took 4 minutes for me to place all the blocks. And it does look better. Look how much more complete my base looks. I'm laughing because I'm upset with myself. I'm actually upset with myself. I've just run around my base doing various other odd jobs that needed to be done, and all of them took around about 2 or 3 minutes each. I mean, it's embarrassing. Please let me know down in the comment section if you're built the same as me, if you do this stuff, and do you feel bad about it? If I'm the only person on the planet who is like this, I'm going to be really, really upset. Anyway, let's quickly move on from my crisis before it becomes an actual crisis. I've been thinking a lot about what I'm going to be doing in this gap here between our 2 octagons, and I've been thinking just filling it with water. Like having a platform of blocks and then one layer of water on top could look really cool, and that's something that I want to experiment with right now. Now, my original plan was to have all of the water in line with these top iron blocks here, and then just have a layer of blocks underneath, but I think that could look a little bit flat, so instead I've dropped everything downwards by one extra block, so now the water will be going here, and now we need to clear out all of this area so that we can place some good looking blocks that the water goes on top of. As I'm doing this, I'm starting to realise it's a bit of a mammoth project now that I think about it. The number of blocks inside the area of this octagon is probably enormous. I mean, this is not a small area here. Now, right now, I will admit it looks bad. Okay, it's very grey. I am going to add some greenery into the water, but obviously you have to remember, water is going to go on top of this. Alright, before you panic. And I'm telling you not to panic because I'm starting to panic. I'm starting to panic that it's going to look bad and I'm going to waste all my time. Well, I think obviously a safe bet here is just to do 1/4, fully mock it up, make it exactly how I want it to be, and then we can really make a judgment. And I'm going to be staring at this thing for a long, long time to decide if it's something that I actually want to do with my base. I mean, it's not the worst of starts. Yeah, I mean, it has promise. Okay, let's get the water in. Oh my goodness, I've just realized if this looks bad as well, clearing up this water is going to be a night. This basically has to look good. Okay, this has to look really good. I'm getting scared. I'm getting mildly scared. I think it looks good. I mean, from what I can tell, my voice is getting high. My voice often gets high in these sorts of situations. Right, this should be the last water bucket. There is that. I mean, this is all filled in. This is what we've got, okay? Oh, it actually looks quite cool. Oh, yes, it actually looks quite cool. Oh, that actually looks quite cool. Especially if we start adding in more colour into that, like some bamboo, a little bit of the long grass. That actually looks cool. It actually looks cool. Yes. And remember, all of this area as well has this sort of treatment to be done to it yet. You know, I still need to add in all of that stuff as well. So this is going to look very tropical, very jungly, and then that's going to spread into the water. This actually looks cool. Yes. My voice has come down about 4 octaves. That means I'm happy, which, now that I think about it, is a bit odd. Normally people's voices go higher when they're happy. Honestly, guys, I couldn't be it. My voice broke. I can't go that low for that long. Right, I guess I should just stop fanning about with my voice and actually continue working. Let's do this. And this sort of thing definitely works better in the form of a time lapse. So enjoy that visual goodness while I talk about how much Hermitcraft has changed over the years, because I still weirdly think of myself as a new hermit. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I still think of myself as one of the new guys on the server, but I'm definitely a veteran at this point. In fact, I've been on Hermitcraft for nearly 7 years. Well, no, over 7 years. Nearly 8 years now. Which is mad. That's totally bonkers to me. And it's been really interesting watching the server progress. And actually, I went back to Hermitcraft Season 2 the other day. I downloaded the world and I just thought I'd check it out because that's where I started. I started on Hermitcraft Season 2 and I wanted to see what sort of things I got up to. And wow, the difference in scale is interesting. I actually tweeted about it because my base in Hermitcraft Season 2 that I spent the entire season on would probably fit within the hallway of my current base in Hermitcraft Season 7 that I've only spent, 41 episodes on. It's crazy. It's crazy how much of a difference there's been, and it shows how much we've progressed as a server. I mean, the entire server is like that. It's mad. The sorts of builds that are happening in Hermitcraft Season 7 honestly have been totally mind-blowing to me. And honestly, as one of the veterans on the server now, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of my fellow hermits. And I gotta say, I'm proud of myself as well, because I know I say this every single time I make any amount of progress on my base. I'm honestly like a bit of a broken record here, but this makes the base feel so much more complete. It feels like a proper structure. I also think it's crazy how much I have to look around to actually take in the scale of this thing. My field of view just doesn't accept the scale of my build. Even Quake Pro struggles. I can't even fit. My base doesn't fit in Quake Pro. That's like an achievement. That should be an achievement. This is how I'm going to be recording Hermitcraft episodes from this point forth. Wow, I look so far away. This is making me dizzy. Right, let's move away from the outside of my base. Now we're going to start looking at the inside of my base. And I think it's going to be a bit of a sad day. You see, we've got the In-Between Bases base built by Bumbo Baggins but inspired by Iskall, also known as the IBI. and it's kind of in the way a little bit. You know, it's kind of in the way of what I want to be doing with this storage room. I want big, grand arches, a little bit like what I've got in the nether portal area, and that's just not possible with the IBI in the way. So, unfortunately, I think it's time to remove it. It's the end of an era, 2020 to 2020. That thing has existed, it's done us proud, but this is going to do us prouder. So, the first thing that we have to do is transfer the items from this storage system up here into this little temporary storage system down at the bottom here, and then eventually these items will be transferred into this enormous storage system here. And I've got to say, this seems like one of those jobs that would just be easy. You know, you're just moving items around. How difficult could it be? No, it takes forever, and it's incredibly dull and boring. However, it is now done. All of my possessions have been moved into these chests right here, and it's made me think. Look around, alright? Look around. Everything I own on the Hermitcraft server fits here. And yet here I am, surrounded by hundreds upon hundreds of chests. I think I'm trying to make it look like I have a lot more items than I actually do. Oh, it's slightly embarrassing. Right, let's move on from that, and let's start swinging the axe around. I need to take out that old base. And you know, I didn't expect to feel sad, but I actually do feel a little bit sad. You know, this has been my home now for 25, 30 episodes. I spend a lot of time in here. You know, it's like the heart of my base. The storage system is always the heart of your base. This is like the central point. This is where I come back to, so it's a little bit of a shame to see it go. But obviously, we're moving on to bigger and better things, and the new storage system, once it's done, is actually going to be mega. Scar placed these everywhere, didn't he? I've just looked in my super smelter. There was a vote for Scar map in there. Inside my super smelter. I'm sure that was an accident. I don't know how it got there, though. No wonder he won, though, with marketing like that. That's impressive. It's a bit of a sad day, because I think it might be the last time that I say IBI. You see, it's now all gone. It's been fully removed. We just have an empty shell up at the top there. But that hasn't really helped us progress with this room. So I think I need to put a little bit of time into just clearing out all of this stone. I mean, I have actually got... That's quite a massive area. I want to go right the way up to the top there. That's a big chunk of land. So for the third time in this Hermitcraft episode, let's do another time lapse. I think we might actually be shooting towards a bit of a record here. That's a lot of time lapses in one episode, and I gotta say, I'm really loving them at the minute. I tend to go through phases with my videos. You know, sometimes I'll really like jump cuts and I want to do those a lot, and then sometimes I just fall into the time lapse mode. And right now, I'm fully in the time lapse mode, and I've been experimenting with something fresh, which is doing these time lapses where I'm talking, but also there's music underneath me. I feel like that kind of fits the time-lapsey mood. And it's something that I've struggled with in the past, because I used to just do music time-lapses, then I just did talking time-lapses, and I never, for some bizarre reason, had the very simple idea of fusing the pair of them and having music while talking. I mean, it's revolutionary. It's very... God, it's so obvious. It's taken me 8 years to think of this. And on that rather embarrassing little note, let's pop back onto the Hermitcraft server. And I gotta say, I don't know if the scale came through while I was doing the time lapse. This area is enormous. We've got so much space. I've essentially doubled the size of this area. Now that I look at it, yeah, I've basically doubled the size of the space that we have here. And I'm not even sad about the IBI going anymore, because, I mean, look at this. Look how much more room we have to play with. So I'm going to have to spend some serious time working on some beautiful designs for this place, because, as I've said before, storage system is the heart of your base. Okay, it's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time, and I want to make sure that it's beautiful, because I'm going to be looking at it a lot, and I don't want to be sat here just going, ugh, ugh, oh, oh. I don't think I've ever made those noises before, but I'm happy that I did. Anyway, I'm going to do that. But we're going to move on to something else. And that is a little bit of market research. As I'm sure a lot of you know, my current goal is to be incredibly rich on the Hermitcraft server. I did my 12-hour mining session. I got myself a bunch of stacks of diamonds. But I want to keep going. I want to just amass a large amount of wealth. Okay? And the issue is that I currently don't have a profitable shop. I mean, look, here's Exuma. He's working on something. Exuma has profitable shops. Everyone on the server has profitable shops. Apart from me, I don't have a shop. I mean, my one shop, which was selling my bits, yeah, my mustache and my suit and my trousers, which, by the way, I still haven't got my suit back, alright? That's now gone, and that was kind of a one-off thing. I can't just constantly sell my mustache and my suit and things. I mean, this shop is very adorable, but it doesn't really sell anything. We haven't... I don't have any way to make any money on the Hermitcraft server. So I thought I'd take a quick wander around it and just see if there's any niche that I can fill. I mean, Enchanted Books is done. Ice, we've got the Boomers. I mean, it's just shulker boxes. It's, there's even the new Nether stuff's been covered. I mean, there's really nowhere that I can slot in. Even Ancient Debris. Is that Ancient Debris? It's Cinnabons, but extremely expensive Cinnabons. I feel like I'm not saying that word right, or those words right, for that matter, but I don't think I've ever said the word Cinnabon out loud, and it's really messing me up. I can't say anything else. And like, any of the surrounding words around the word Cinnabon get messed up. Look, okay, I need your help. I need your help in 2 counts. I need your help on the word Cinnabon, because it's really causing me issues, but also I need you to let me know what sort of store I can make. You are far more familiar, funnily enough, even though I play on the Hermitcraft server, you're way more familiar with what's going on the Hermitcraft server than I am. Please let me know if there's anywhere that I could create a business. I'm sure your suggestions will be fantastic. Let me know down in the comment section, please. Now it's time to head back over to the base and continue the grind. I have got still some terraforming work to do. You know, I put it off throughout this Hermitcraft episode, but I've still got to do it. And I hadn't realised these stone bricks, I thought that they were actually decoration. They're not. They're the original template that I placed and never took it down. I'm the laziest man. I'm embarrassed about how lazy I am. I mean, how could I not have removed the template I placed in episode 6? I've said this about 1,000 times this season, and I've said it about 100 times this episode. God, it looks so much better without that. I had not realised how much that was distracting me and disgusting me, but like subconsciously. I tell you what though, I am debating something, right? I mean, as I say, I've got a little bit of terraforming to do. Nothing crazy, but there are some decently large chunks. Like for example, in this back area here, there's a big old hole that needs to be filled in, and all the way around the back there, all of the area needs to be filled in. I mean, I'm thinking, are we going to do a 4th time lapse? Is that really something that's going to happen? Yes. My poor Premiere Pro is going to catch fire with the amount of rendering it's going to have to do. With that being said, this wasn't exactly a mammoth task. As I went around, I realised that actually a lot of the gaps were relatively small. Had to get a little bit creative with connecting up parts of my terraforming and things, because there were some fairly big crevasses. Is crevasse a word, or is it a crevice? A crevasse. We're going to go with crevasse. There were some big crevasses that I'd created, so I had to kind of smooth those out. But for the most part, it was pretty much plain sailing, and I gotta say, I'm back into the swing of things with terraforming. I'm almost a little bit upset that now I have no terraforming to do. I've just realised I've finished all the terraforming. That's only just occurred to me. I'm done with terraforming for Hermitcraft Season 7. You know what, I got excited about terraforming then, but now I'm incredibly happy that I never have to do it again. At least, not in my base. I mean, I'm sure some terraforming is going to raise its ugly head at some point. Just as a fun fact about today's Hermitcraft episode, there is nearly 9 hours worth of time-lapse footage in this one. Lovely, lovely stuff. Anyway, this is also lovely, lovely stuff. It looks so good. It looks seriously so good. I mean, that is definitely... No, that needs some work. No, I'd not seen it from that angle before. It looked okay. No, it did. What was I thinking? This is like a perfect neighborhood. You know, with like perfectly trimmed bushes. Right, give me a second. I'm actually embarrassed. I said that it looked good, and then I show this. This isn't terraforming, this is printing. Right, as I was saying, it looks so good. It looks so complete. It looks so finished. It looks just good. It all looks cool. My base looks cool. I'm proud of this thing. I'm incredibly proud of this thing. It's so difficult to show it on screen because it doesn't fit. I need to go all the way out to here, and then even then you can't see it. What am I meant to do? Honestly, this is the only way that I can get a good look at my base. Flying this far out. And then even then, I start travelling too fast and I lose sight of it. I mean, it's just... The scale of it's pretty intense. And I think the scale has been amplified as well by this now actually looking like part of the base as opposed to just some bits on the floor. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Huge project. Huge project. Mega base. Mega pleased with myself. I'm chuffed to bits. I really am. I mean, look at the bases though. The bases around here are nuts. Everything's nuts. The Hermitcraft Season 7 is nuts. I've gone a bit nuts. I've played a lot of Minecraft today. It's been fun. Well, over 2 days actually. I've played a lot of Minecraft for the past 2 days. So I've got compound nuts. I've got a pair of... No, you know what? On that note, let's end. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. But on a serious note, this has been a lot of fun to record. I've really, really enjoyed myself. Sometimes it's good to just get the things done that you've been meaning to do for a while. Because the more you put them off, the more they stress you out. It's strange, isn't it? You put them off, and then they stress you out more and more, and when you finally do them and it takes 4 minutes, you just feel better. But I can't bring myself to do it. I'm a broken man.